High blood pressure, also called hypertension, is a serious medical condition that affects human health. Hypertension and its complications are chronic diseases of the highest mortality. Most of the hypertension and complications can be effectively prevented and controlled if detected earlier. So it's quite important to have a blood pressure monitor with high accuracy. Then there comes the question, how much do you know about the blood pressure monitor? The medical standard of the non-invasive blood pressure measurement is the mercury sphygmomanometer. It was invented by a Russian, Dr. Korotkov, in 1905. In order to commemorate him, the mercury sphygmomanometer was also named Korotkov Sound Blood Pressure Monitor. Its working principle is using an inflatable cuff to cover the upper arm. Using a mercury pressure gauge, connect the inflatable cuff to detect the pressure in the cuff. When measuring, the cuff inflates to block the blood flow, then to deflate gradually. When the cuff pressure is less than the systolic and greater than the diastolic, there is blood pulse flow. Each time, when the artery changes from closed to open state, there is a Korotkov sound heard by the stethoscope. The systolic is the mercury pressure reading when the first Korotkov sound is heard. When the cuff pressure is less than the diastolic blood pressure, whenever there is blood pulse flow, the arterial blood vessel is no longer opening and closing. The Korotkov sound disappears. The diastolic is the mercury pressure reading when the last Korotkov sound heard. The Korotkov sound blood pressure monitor creates a time of non-invasive blood pressure measurement. But it cannot avoid the situations of sounds and blood flow are out of sync. Like there's blood flow, but no Korotkov sound. There's Korotkov sound, but no blood flow. The sound is too weak to be heard, etc. And because of the complex operation and high requirements for the operator's hearing, visual reaction, gas release rate, the measurement precision is unable to be further improved. In more than 100 years from the Korotkov sound blood pressure monitor until now, people have been exploring the more accurate and convenient blood pressure measurement, but weren't successful, including the oscilloscope electronic sphygmomanometer. The hospitals have to continue to use the old Korotkov sound blood pressure monitor. Until 2012, the Pulsewave blood pressure measurement, which was more accurate than Korotkov sound method was invented, marked the beginning of the precision non-invasive blood pressure measuring time. Now, the Pulsewave blood pressure measurement has obtained innovation patents of China, South Korea, Japan, Russia, South Africa, and also applied patents in more than 40 countries. The cuff of the Pulsewave blood pressure monitor has two bladders and two tubes. The upper bladder is the pressure bladder to block the blood flow. The lower bladder is the Pulsewave detector to detect the brachial artery blood flow signal, Pulsewave. The upper bladder inflates to block the brachial artery blood flow. Then to deflate gradually, the brachial artery blood flow gradually recovers from the blocking state. The upper bladder detects the pressure signal and the lower bladder detects the Pulsewave signal. The Pulsewave blood pressure monitor gets the accurate systolic blood pressure values by calculation according to the multi-point upper pressure signals and lower Pulsewave signals. It avoids the error caused by the sound and blood flow are out of sync, such as pseudo-hypertension, which is easily caused by the Korotkov sound blood pressure monitor. When the cuff pressure is less than the systolic and greater than the diastolic, the artery from closed to open state, there is blood pulse flow. The blood pulse flows from upper to lower bladder. As the cuff pressure decreases gradually, the time of the pulse flows from the upper to the lower bladder decreases gradually and then achieves the stable state. This is the lag time. The diastolic pressure is the cutoff pressure when the lag time achieves the stable state. The Pulsewave blood pressure monitor gets the accurate diastolic pressure values by calculation according to the multiple lag times of Pulsewave signals and their corresponding upper pressure signals. The Pulsewave blood pressure monitor adopts multi-point measurement instead of single-point measurement of the Korotkov blood pressure monitor, achieves a continuous measurement of non-continuous event, makes the measurement accuracy to 2 consecutive hops of the pulse, and all measurements are without human intervention. Avoid measurement error due to individual differences. The Pulsewave blood pressure monitor. Focus on blood pressure management.